This was a phenomenal chapter, a great chapter, everything we wanted and needed for so many reasons and more. Hi, I'm Vagabond Kana. So this chapter was so great. We got to see Eam, we got to see all types of stuff, but let's just get to the chapter. In the beginning, they show Luffy being upset about Sabo and how, Luffy's like, oh, Sabo would never kill Cobra. He would never do such a thing. And Robin agrees as well, which makes sense. Robin actually knows Sabo quite well. And she also mentions that the revolutionaries would only go after celestial dragons, not, regular kings. They would go after world nobles and such, right? And also Luffy and everybody else, they're worried about Vivi. And then Zoro comes in, putting on his vice captain hat, because Luffy, he's all like, oh man, we need to go to Alabasta right now. And then Zoro's like, okay, first of all, they're in Mary Joie or Mary Joyce or however you pronounce. I still don't know how to pronounce it. I really don't. But they're in Mary Joie. That's where it's at. And then Luffy's like, okay, well, we'll go to Marie Joie or Mary Joyce or Mary Joie or whatever the heck. And then Zoro's like, no, do you want to go there? And Luffy's like, oh, yes, Zoro, what are you, chicken? He's like, all right, no. And so, Zoro talks some sense into everybody. It's like, hey, gotta let Vivi do her own thing and whatnot. Of course, people are upset with him, but this is also a great moment. I love seeing scenes like this with the Straw Hats where they're just chilling on the boat and just talking and conversing and whatnot. It's really cool. And I love moments like this. I'll never get over it. But all these things being said, nonetheless, I love how Zoro was shown to really just, show once again, hey, this dude is basically the vice captain. Once again, he has shown his worth as a vice captain, as a second in command. That's exactly what he's done. And so, him being the voice of reason in this situation to calm Luffy down. Honestly, he didn't really calm him down, but he changed his mind about, doing anything too rash, right? So that was a very great scene. I love that to death. Of course, Caribou is in the barrel, not Carrot. We're gonna get to that soon, but I'm not gonna focus on that too much. There's a lot in this chapter that we need to get to, and it's very good stuff. But so moving on from that, Luffy, he lays back and he starts reminiscing about his time with Ace and Sabo, and he tells his crew for the very first time his real dream. And it's not to become the Pirate King. It's something else that Oda did not show, which I'm not surprised. And, tons of people, there are a few people that looked at him differently, and a lot of them laughed. Jinbei, he laughed. Brook laughed, of course, because it's Brook. Frankie laughed. So these guys were taken aback by what Luffy had said. It was quite funny, I'm not going to lie. But this is a cool scene. I really love it. He finally tells them what's going on. Chopper's like, yeah, that's awesome, Luffy. And then Nami's like, yeah, that sounds like you. And so, those are... oh, that's right. Sanji also laughs at him. This is a good scene. I love seeing the Straw Hats actually communicate. It's been a minute to see them just chilling, just having a good time. You get that every banquet every now and then, and then you get it between arcs where they're on the ship like this one. Moving on from that, now we caught on to the big stuff. Oh my god. So we're at Marie's, well actually we're at Navy HQ, they show that, and they're actually tracking Sabo's position, and they're like, hey, Sabo is over here in the Lucia Kingdom, and he's talking to those in Kamabaka Kingdom right now. And Sabo, turns out when Sabo was in Marie Joie, he actually saw the throne. He actually saw Imu, or Eam. He actually saw this guy, and you could tell Eam was pissed off because Sabo's actually about to relay this to Dragon. He also says that he isn't the one who killed Cobra, which we already knew. We already knew that he wasn't the one who killed Cobra, and if he did, that'd have been something different. But Oda, he's gonna play it safe. I don't think Oda's gonna go that far. But so after Sabo says that, he's like, hey, Dragon, and basically he's talking to everybody. He says there was somebody there at that throw. I thought it was an empty throne. No, somebody was there. I thought there was never going to be a ruler over everyone. But there was somebody in that seat. And then all of a sudden, over Lelouchia Kingdom, there was a shadow within the clouds. And you also see Im-sama, not in the shadows, but you see Im-sama in Mary Joyce, and they cross out Lelouchia Kingdom. And then all of a sudden, that shadow comes down and completely eradicates, obliterates Lelouchia Kingdom. I'm sitting here like, oh my God, that's some DBZ stuff. I'm sorry, I don't care what anyone says, but it looks cool. I love it. I love it to death. But oh my goodness. But it was, oh my God, that scene is just breathtaking because it's like, those people couldn't do anything about that. That place was struck in an instant, Enel style, which this reminds me a lot of Enel when he was listening to the people, listening to, like whenever he would listen to someone talk, he would strike them from above like a god, just like Im just did, right? I think that was really foreshadowing the whole Enel stuff, but I'm telling you, it's just, wow. Now, whether he was using an ancient weapon or not, who knows? More than likely, it's probably Uranus, because you got Poseidon, which covers the sea, right? And so it's a lot of destruction within the sea. Shirahoshi can call forth sea kings and everything of the sort, correct? Then you have Pluton, which is said to be able to destroy an entire island, which really just happened, right? But is said to be able to destroy an entire island. It may be like more likely it's a ship, but it could be a submarine. Some people are theorizing. I'm just gonna go with it's just a regular battleship. I'm just assuming that it is. And then you have Uranus, which Uranus is more than likely going to have to deal with the sky, right? So you have Pluton, Poseidon, which is underwater, and then you have Uranus, which is more than likely going to deal with the sky. This attack came from the sky. So, all in all, I gotta say, this was breathtaking. This scene, oh my God. But anyways, I gotta make a video about Imu. I gotta make a video about Im, or Emu, whatever you want to call him. Cause my God, if that was not an ancient weapon, if that was actually just Im's power, I don't know what to say. I mean, honestly, he is more than likely Im's gonna be busted because he's like, this is this saga's final villain because it's the final saga. It's this series' final villain, more than likely. I don't think it's gonna be a Kainu. I don't think it's gonna be. Blackbeard is gonna be like the second biggest, but Blackbeard is gonna play a big role, a huge role. But I don't think he's the last, right? Anyways, now we go back to the Straw Hats here. In this scene, it shows the Straw Hats going through rough waves and whatnot, and it's also kind of a cold climate, so you see a lot of snow and everything, and the Straw Hats are like, okay, we must be nearing an island because, it's getting snowy and cold. Because, that's how the Grand Line works, right? So, seeing this, these guys put on, like, their snow outfits. It kind of reminds me back in the days of Drum Island, where they met Chopper and everything. Chopper puts on his snowsuit. He puts on this, like, I forgot what that hat's called, but that little straw hat thing that Japanese samurai Ronin would wear a lot of times. But moving on from that, everybody puts on the like snow outfits and everything, and they're going through rough terrain, and they see like this formation of just like water just rising. It's like a weird sort of formation, but it rises, and then they see that somebody's in there, and Sanji's like, oh, it's a woman, because it's Sanji. He can sense women. That's the extent of his observation, Haki. He can sense, oh, this is specifically a woman. Dope. I gotta go see her because he's just that guy. And then Zoro, he's like, okay, cool, let's save her. And then he's like, I'm going to cut the wave. I'm gonna cut this. And then he just slices the whole thing. It's a cool little scene. And then they see what woman comes out of that. And then that woman turns out to be Jewelry Bonnie. And she's in like her kid form, because she can change her age from old to young and whatnot. She can also do the same to others as well. So we see Jewelry Bonnie, and then the chapter ends right there. Now this chapter was really good. I don't care what anyone says. This was a very good chapter. Very good chapter. Something very much so needed. I actually wish I did not read the spoilers for this before it came out. From now on, I'm probably not going to read spoilers anymore. But this was really good. This was really, really good. So now, oh, also I forgot to mention that Luffy and Chopper go flying off somewhere else entirely. They get taken away. Like, Chopper, he gets blown away by, like, you know, the harsh winds and whatnot. And Luffy grabs onto him and then they fly away somewhere else. But that being said, more than likely, we'll see them. Like, this is probably Oda's way of separating the Straw Hats, but, like, Luffy separates from the rest of the crew and Chopper as well. And they go off and, we'll see where they're at next. I mean, more than likely, they're gonna show up on the island somewhere and then meet up with the Straw Hats later. More than likely. So, you know, with all this being said, yes, love this chapter to death. So, Carrot was not in the barrel. It was actually Caribou. And let's be honest, I expected Caribou to be in the barrel more than Carrot. I did. I mean, I did. But at the same time, what you don't understand is that Caribou is in the barrel, but Carrot is in the crate. Okay, I'm joking. Let me stop. But all that being said, but okay, let's be real for a second. So Carrot is not presented in this chapter, and a few days pass by. So it's very interesting. So there's a thing about this, right? You do have a lot of evidence for Carrot. You have more evidence for Carrot joining the crew than Yamato. You just do. Like I said before, people thought Yamato was going to join just because she said that, oh, she wanted to, but she was like, oh, no, I'm actually going to stay. Which was expected because the story was clear enough to see that it was going that route. Those who actually really analyzed the story could see that, right? It wasn't a hard thing to see. It's guardian deity of Wano. I said this like 2 billion times, right? It's just right there in your face. It's not rocket science, but it's not rocket science. But as I said before, Carrot is nowhere to be found. Now, you have one of two choices. We can just assume that Oda is a bad writer and he just completely jacked up Carrot's story in the most absolute sense because he just decided to start sucking at writing all of a sudden. You can say that. You can say that. It's fair because Wano was quite bad. I'm sorry. Wano has a lot of issues that, like, I get there are a lot of people going around saying, oh, this is like a top 5 arc or a top 3 arc, but let's keep it real. No. I'm sorry. For me, just no. My opinion is just like, Wano wasn't it. Wano has a lot of great action, some of the best action scenes ever, but when it comes to specifically like just writing in general, I think he did a horrible job. I think he did the worst job that I ever seen in my life. In terms of, you know, One Piece. I'm not talking about in comparison to other stories and manga in general, but that being said, I mean, Carrot, she's, you know, you can either believe that Oda's a bad writer or that, you know, Carrot will have a continuation. Because let's be real here. Carrot's story, no matter how you slice and dice it, it ended inconclusively. It ended inconclusively. There's no other way you can put that. No other way. So you could be like, okay, Oda just doesn't know what he's doing, and then he just happened to like, I don't really know what to say. But I did say that after 1060, I'll basically be on copium, right? If I say that Carrot's gonna join, I'll basically be on copium. Here's the thing, guys. The main reason why I am on hopium, so copium and hopium are two different things, right? The main reason why I've been on hopium for so long is because there's a lot of factual evidence pointing towards Carrot joining. There's a lot. There's too much, actually. There's always been more factual evidence for Carrot than Yamato. That's why I just don't get Yamato at all, and I never will. But when it comes to specifically Carrot, it's always there. That information, everything that's happened with Carrot is there, and it is still there to this day. And like I said before, we are definitely getting another Straw Hat crew member, no matter how you slice and dice it. And the best candidate so far is Carrot. There are some people that go around saying, oh, Caribou. Stop. You people are There are some people joking about that, but there are some people that are actually serious and expect that. But then again, you had people who thought Caesar Clown was gonna join. Clearly, there are people in this fandom that don't know what they're talking about. Clearly, it's quite obvious. It's, you know, that's not even a discussion. But at the end of the day, there's a lot of evidence for Carrot to join, but I just don't know what's going on right now. Like, I'm genuinely lost. But I'm not gonna lower my guard yet. And I know people are gonna say I'm on copium. No matter how I slice and dice this, no matter how I say this, people are going, like, I'm gonna look silly from here on out. It is what it is, and I guess it's worth it if I end up being right. But I'll even look silly if I was to give up all of a sudden. If I was to give up and then Carrot showed up, I was like, oh man, I should have kept believing, man. That'd be crazy. Yeah, look, I'm not gonna give up because I always have factual evidence to look back at. I always have that. But this is more fuel for the Carrot haters and I guess you could say Yamato fans if they don't like Carrot or if they just don't like, you know, if they just want to troll, you know? But at the end of the day, I don't know. I don't know what to say, but maybe at some point, maybe she does not join as early as I thought. But who knows? I'm at a loss for words. Actually, no, I do have one thing to say. Oda does this thing where he messes with people. He does this weird thing where he, like take Yamato, for example. She, up to the very, very final point, she was like, all right, I'm gonna go sail the seas with the Straw Hats. I'm gonna go live like Odin did. And okay, so we all know what that means, right? Well, he pulled a switcheroo. The very next chapter, this man was like, nope, I ain't going. This man Oda said, nope, she's not joining. I'm like, this girl Yamato stayed by. He had this girl Yamato sit here and say, I'm gonna go live like Oda to the very last breath until he could just jump right to it in the very next chapter and be like, nope, I ain't going. I'm staying right here. Which made sense if you understood some parts of the story, but but like my point of saying this is that this is the kind of guy that Oda is. Oda will stretch something out to an unnecessary degree. Like, if he wants to go out of his way to push an agenda to make people like worry or have some type of emotion, to him that seems to be better than just getting what you want immediately. So take for example, Jinbei having a higher bounty than Sanji. Why does Jinbei have a higher bounty than Sanji? Nobody knows. The only reason you could really think of this is to mess with specifically Sanji and the Sanji fans. So to get a reaction out of people. That is the whole point of Oda doing what he does. And in this case, with Carrot not joining, okay, he left it on a cliffhanger. He definitely did. You know, it was inconclusive. There's no conclusion to that. If anyone, okay, you could think that everything that went on with Carrot was conclusive. You could think that it's conclusive. You could think that, okay, Carrot's story is finished. We're done. You could think that. But at the same time, there's a lot wrong with that scene. Too much for me to just sit back and be like, oh yeah, that's good. So it's either Oda is a bad writer or Oda has more planned. I'm just gonna edge on the side that Oda has more planned, and I don't want to. It sucks that I'm sitting here saying that Oda's a bad writer because that's the only good excuse why he would do Carrot this way. That's the only good excuse, other than the idea that there's more for her. So you got one of two things, and that's it. You got one of two things, and they're both very much so possible, especially with how trash Wano was. But I'm sorry, I didn't like Wano for the most part. There were certain things that I did like. It was great, but I'm not gonna sit here and lie to myself. I didn't like it. If you liked it, that's fine. It's cool. You can like whatever you want. But as far as the Carrot stuff, I'm running a little low on hopium. I'm not gonna lie. I mean, I gotta be truthful. My whole thing is that, okay, we gotta face reality, right? But I do think, like, realistically speaking, I do think Carrot is still gonna join. I really do. I haven't given up. I'm not done. Because, like I said, if anyone thought that conclusion with Carrot was good, Jesus, holy crap. You honestly have to be a Carrot hater in order to think that was good. Even like the most basic of writers would sit there and be like, okay, this was trash, but the only people who would really take it and be happy with it are people who specifically hate Carrot. So there's nothing else to really say about that. But anyways, to let you guys know, I will not be making any more videos about Carrot until we get a confirmation of her joining the crew, or if she shows up at some point in the story. Her story is not done yet, people. Just understand that. Her story is not done. So anyways, talking about this chapter, do you guys think that this is Sphinx Island that they're going to, or do you think that Oda's gonna throw us a curveball and actually end up taking us somewhere else entirely? It'll be very interesting to see the developments of how this goes, but also, do you think Sabo is dead? I personally would like to say no, because it's One Piece. Anyways, yeah, so I think Sabo's alive even after taking a nuke large enough to destroy an entire country. I definitely think so. Yes, indeed, I do. Actually, I don't even know how big Lelouch is. I said an entire country, but it's like probably a very tiny country. Also, do you guys think that nuke was an ancient weapon, or was it just Imu just being a boss? Honestly, because if it's just Imu's power, that's crazy. What do you need an ancient weapon for, right? But, we'll see. So before we get on to the Reddit questions, make sure you guys like the video and subscribe as well. You're going to be getting these every single week that we have a One Piece review. I also make other videos as well, so stay tuned for that. And let's move on to the Reddit questions. Did Zoro forget that Ace ended up dead? That's true. That's very true. He's not wrong when he says that. Last bit of hopium. Carrot is inside Careful. Oh, God. Yeah, nah, I had hope too, but it's time to give up. Oda clearly doesn't care about Carrot anymore. We'll see. Like I said, Oda, he does this thing where he messes with people. He's like, hey, same thing with Yamato, right? Same thing with Yamato. He was like, hey, I'm gonna have her say, I'm gonna join the crew up to the very last second, and at the very last second, she's gonna be like, nope, not doing it. That's why I'm not really on the whole giving up thing too early, because Oda does like to subvert expectations and also troll and mess with people a lot. But after a while, maybe, we might have to stop. After a while, I gotta be real. That panel where Luffy just says, that will be the end of my dream. Hit me hard in the feels. I don't want to think about the end. Yeah. Luffy's dream, whatever it is, it's gotta be something incredibly stupid. It's gotta be something stupid. But that's really hard to achieve. So it's just stupidly hard to achieve that is just funny, right? Yeah, but this whole time, he has not been wanting to be, well, he has been wanting to be the Pirate King, but that's not where you stop at, right? I'll cash app everyone $100 who actually thinks and is right about Sabo being dead. As if we haven't seen this cliffhanger before. Hello, Pell. Hello, Kinnymon. Yeah, pretty much. And then this guy says, unless the bomb had hockey, he's not dead. He's just gonna swim with island remains. Which, okay, well, first of all, he can't swim. But that is something that I'm thinking about, because it's like, okay, look. Sabo is a fire Logia, right? So you think a bomb would not affect him because it would just go through him. Like, he's straight up fire. Like, so why would that kill him? That's what I'm thinking about. Honestly, it really shouldn't even hurt him. Unless if it has hockey on it. I don't know. I really don't know. I have no idea whatsoever. Sabo, realistically speaking, from knowing that this is One Piece and that Oda doesn't really kill off prominent characters like that, and the fact that, he's a Logia, it doesn't make sense for Sabo to be dead. It just doesn't. I think Sabo is alive, and a bomb really shouldn't even hurt him, to be honest. It really shouldn't. He's freaking fire. Bombs cause fires as well. It's like, It's a little bit different, but you know, it's the same thing basically. Whatever. Is this what you guys wanted, huh? Complained about the fake out deaths in Wano arc just for Sabo to get annihilated? Okay, this is one of those reactionary types. One of them dudes that just buys whatever they see in the first 5 seconds. It's like, oh, Sabo got blown up. Sabo's dead. Sabo ain't dead. Calm down. Good grief. It's like, you got so many reactionary folks in this fandom, I tell you, man. But, yeah, I mean, hey, if he's right, good lord. But he's not going to be right. I refuse to believe he's going to be right. Guy also says, what a weird joke. Sabo is obviously not going to die off screen, and given the direction of the story thus far, he probably won't die at all. They may print in the newspaper that he's dead, but without a corpse, he just plain isn't. I agree. Now let's go to our pirate folk, where they think they've won and basically waiting to troll me, but honestly, I have no argument against them other than the same old argument that I've had before. So let's go to our pirate folk. God, Jesus Christ. Love how all 11 Straw Hats now know Luffy's dream. Also Caribou for some reason. Who's the 11th? There's only 10. What are you talking about? There's only 10. Are you talking about Yamato? You better not be talking about no freaking Yamato. Yamato is done. Okay, let me ask you guys a question. What's more copium? What has more copium? Thinking that Carrot is still going to join, or thinking that Yamato is still going to join? What has more copium? What does? In all honesty. So if I'm sitting here thinking that Carrot's still going to join, no. If people are still sitting here thinking that Yamato's going to join, what's wrong with me sitting here thinking that Carrot's still going to join? What's wrong with that? At least I have factual evidence for it. We don't know, like, the only real way that Yamato would leave to go sail with the Straw Hats is if, you know, Momonosuke becomes strong enough to protect the island by himself. And I don't think Momonosuke within the next 2 months is going to become Admiral level, people. I just don't see it. It doesn't make sense. It's like, it just doesn't make sense to me at all. That's not happening. Bruh, the casual banter between Straw Hats and them insulting Zoro really brings me back. It brings tears of joy and warms my heart. All my doubts and worries after Wano arc, especially on how it ended, are gone now. This chapter made me at ease again. And you know what? I feel this guy. I really do. This is a good chapter, man. You can't sit here and just hate. You can't sit here and hate on the chapter. I mean, you could be a little upset that Carrot's not there in the barrel. You could be upset about that. But it's like, hey, look, you know, we'll just wait a little bit longer. I mean, some people you can give up if you want to. It is what it is. I'll do me, you do you. But overall, this is a good chapter, man. This is a really good chapter. I love seeing the Straw Hats communicate. And then Zoro doing his thing as the vice captain. You got, you know, and they're actually talking about Vivi again, which I really do appreciate, you know, because, you know, the fandom has a lot of love for Vivi, and then the Straw Hats have a lot of love for Vivi. They've been through a lot. They've traveled and such. To see them focus on Vivi and think about Vivi and care about her so much is a very nice touch that I've seen. Of course they're going to do that, though. It's expected. And also, those who have not met Vivi, like Jinbei and Frankie and Brooke, they talked about something else. They talked about Sabo. They talked more so about Sabo. It's like, okay, I don't know who the heck this Vivi chick is, but Sabo, though, yeah, he was a cool bro. Yeah, stuff like that. Well, no, that was just Frankie who said that, I believe. That was just Frankie who said that. Frankie knows Sabo. Frankie knows Sabo, and Brooke knows of Sabo as well, I guess. So, yeah. But anyways. So, how are Carrot fans holding up? This chapter is pretty much the nail in the coffin of Carrot for Nakama. Oh, up yours. Up yours, dude. Up yours. It looks like making Carrot the Mink leader wasn't a clever subversion by Oda, and was just his way of quickly writing her off. If it is, I mean, he's a trash writer. I mean, it is what it is. If this was Oda's way of doing it, he is a garbage writer. I'm just calling it now. I don't care. Yes, I know this is the same man who made Water 7, but he's not what he used to be, because, I mean, Wano. But, I mean, at the same time, okay, here's the thing. Here's the thing, right? Hey, this could be copium. You call it copium. I don't care. If Oda was planning on making her, or even if he just wanted to, make a subversion by writing her off and say, okay, I'm gonna make her the Queen of Zou. At least make it believable for the character Carrot. Carrot even had doubts. She could have honestly sat there and been like, hey, I don't want to do this. I'm sorry. She could have honestly sat there and been like, hey, this is a great idea. I'd love to lead. And then she just does it, right? If you really, like, she has resolve in doing it. And we could see her final decision. She could be confident in that decision. Like, I will be the best leader that Zou has ever had, or some garbage like that, even though there was no build up to it whatsoever. And it could be that Oda was just writing her off. But, with all that being said, why couldn't Oda just have given Carrot some resolve in being the ruler of Zou? Why couldn't Oda have just done that? Instead, he made it very unsure and inconclusive, and it just looked weird. It didn't make sense. It's like, it looked like something that Carrot didn't want to do. But anyways, and this other guy says, I was hoping for Carrot and Yamato to join, but even if they never do, I still enjoyed One Piece a lot before they were introduced, and still will even with them not joining. This final saga is shaping up to be amazing. I still feel like the story will cut back to Carrot at least once to show what she decided at some point. Closure is good regardless of her journey or not. Exactly! Closure! There was no closure. Why? These are questions that need to be answered. Here's the thing, like, the same thing happened with Yamato when she decided to stay. It didn't feel right? Exactly. It was something weird about it, and you could see some things alluding to that in that scene. He later on went back to it, albeit it was weird that he did it. He should have just did it in the freaking chapter. It was kind of stupid. But anyways, so you go back to Yamato and say, hey, this place needs to be protected, and that was obvious that was going that route. With Carrot, see, it's a little harder now, because it's like, you figured Carrot was going to go that route. But it's like, where is she now? I mean, she can always still show up at some time, but at the same time, it's like, we still need to close the character's arc. We still need closure to what the character decided to do. We can't just sit there, not answer anything, and leave, and never go back to it. That's just stupid. That doesn't make sense in any form of writing. So it's like, just answer the question. Is she going back to Zou or not? That's all I need, and I will shut up. I would stop with the hopium. Maybe you could say I can go to copium and say, no copium. There will be no copium. I'm just going to accept reality. If Carrot goes back to Zou and they show her there and she's just like, yeah, I'm going to be the ruler of Zou, and we're done. And it's like, all right, I'm going to give up. I'm done. But there's no clear conclusion here. So until then, I'm going to say Carrot for Nakama. I'm going to keep saying it. I'm not going to say it as much now because I'm going to get roasted to hell and back if I keep doing that. But Yamato fans feeling themselves right now because they think they think we get to feel the same pain as them. But it's like, I'll let y'all have your dub for this week. I will let you have it. But right now, you've won the battle, but you have not won the war. It is not over. So anyways, guys, that's the video. Please let me know how you liked the chapter. I enjoyed this chapter. And also like the video and subscribe while you're at it. Join the Vagabond's journey. With that being said, Vagabond gone.